podcast? You can now find us on Patreon at the LunaPod, where you can show your support for the podcast for only $1 a month. Or for a little bit more, you can get early access and bonus episodes, contribute to our podcast segments, and receive exclusive video content as we film our reactions, reviews, and discover new K-pop groups. Head over to Patreon now to join the community. We can't wait to chat with you.
Welcome to NCT November.
I feel like we need more weeks in this month to be able to go over everything.
Hi, welcome to the LunaPod, where we talk all things K-pop. I'm Brooke.
And I'm Raquel. Welcome to NCT November. We've been planning our NCT group chats for so long now and decided that having a whole month dedicated to them would be best so that the episodes can be found all together. Today we're going to briefly touch on NCT as a whole, but mostly we're going to focus on NCT 127.
This episode includes everything you might need to know if you're wanting to become an NCTZEN. We put a lot of time and research into group chats, but with so much information out there, it's impossible to list everything, especially with a group like NCT. But we've gathered our findings and personal opinions as best as we could, and we hope you learn something new, enjoy, and decide to become NCTZEN with us. Okay. I'm scared we're gonna run people off.
I know. This is a lot.
But get through this.
You've got this. We've split it up for you so it's easy. NCT is technically a 26-member group from SM Entertainment, but they work primarily in subunits rather than a large group as a whole. NCT is an acronym for Neoculture Technology, branded as a new boy group concept where they essentially had unlimited members and they were always expanding. So with so many people from all around the world with such amazing talents, their possibilities for subunits and pairings are honestly so vast and they reach worldwide. And honestly, they're able to try every topic known to man. However, some of these subunit and group concepts that they originally started out with have changed throughout the years, but we'll talk more about that, especially in our Dream episode. And they also recently stated that their newest group expansion will be the last. So although NCT started as a forever expanding project, it has come to an end.
So the easiest way to break this down, my friend, just first off, shout out to my friend Andrea. She was the one that helped me get into K-pop and she started me off with NCT. She helped so much with this group chat, like in all of them. She's amazing. I love you to death.
Huge shout out. Thank you.
One thing she sent me that was just so perfect to explain this is think of NCT as a school. So 127 are the upperclassmen. They're like a soul-based subunit, kind of like the OGs. And just mini note, they have a subunit of Dojaejung. That's all you need to know. And then NCT Dream are the underclassmen. They are teens that kind of graduate out of the group. That was the original concept, but now they're fixed members. And then Wavy and NCT, which we're currently calling New Team because it's the Tokyo-based unit that they haven't given a name yet to. But those are the international class with members from other countries, so they are the China and Tokyo-based units. And NCTU can be looked at as like extracurricular activities that members can participate in according to their interests, concepts that suit them, just different talents. And NCT albums are like the end of the year projects that they all put together. And so we've had a few throughout the years. In 2018, we had Empathy. In 2020, we had a Resonance Part 1 and 2. In 2021, we had Universe. And then this year, 2023, we had Golden Age.
And all of those were all of the NCT members.
Yes.
Right? They called it NCTU, but it's technically just like NCT as a whole.
And then maybe eventually we'll end up doing like an NCTU episode because there is just so much that's involved just with that in itself because each song has different units made up of all the different members. So that's kind of a lot to get into. Don't want to get too stressed out, even though we're probably already doing it.
It still kind of confuses me too, to be completely honest.
Kind of a side note, if you are getting into NCT, other groups you might hear of are Super M and Rise. Super M is kind of like the Avengers of K-pop, and they had 4 but now 3 members from NCT, and then Rise has 2 former members of NCT. Okay.
Do you want me to say this one?
Yeah, you can say that mouthful if you want.
Okay. I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
All right. Okay, now brace yourselves. I'm gonna list every member of NCT. Ready? Go. Taeyong, Taeil, Johnny, Yuta, Kun, Doyoung, Ten, Jaehyun, Winwin, Jungwoo, Mark, Xiaojun, Hendry, Runjun, Jino, Haechan, Jaemin, Yang, Chanla, Jisung, Sion, Riku, Yushi, Daeyoung, Ryo, and Sakuya.
Whew.
Oh my gosh, let me take a breath.
That's a fun game. How fast can you say the NCT members?
Oh, that is
in
fun.
an order, alphabetical order.
That's
Debut.
really put into the test. It's definitely an overwhelming mouthful, I know, but that's why NCT November exists and why we're doing this whole series.
And there are former members that we kind of briefly touched on a second ago that you may hear about or see when discovering the groups. And those are Shotaro, Sungchan, and Lucas. Shotaro and Sungchan were removed from NCT, unfortunately, before they were given a unit, which is like the most frustrating thing ever as an NCTZEN. And I don't want to talk about it, but they are now members of Rise, so please, please, please go support them over there. They're amazing. And Lucas was a former member of Wavy, so you'll hear us mention him very, very briefly in that episode. But let's talk about NCT 127.
As we like to do our group chats, we like to talk about our personal feelings and rankings of the group before we start getting into some details and information about them. So with the group ranking, I don't really have a ranking with them, to be completely honest. They're probably in the top 20, which I know sounds so bad. I genuinely enjoy NCT so much, especially as we've been preparing for these episodes. I have a very deep love for them. There's just a million groups out there, and being a multi-stan is rough.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to place groups a lot of times, especially even like when we've been doing these group chats. I'm probably saying placement twice with different groups. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
same.
but at the time of recording, they're now
higher up.
my, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if I can really give them a solid ranking right now because I
Yeah.
don't know.
And for my ranking at the moment, they're my number 3.
Deserved.
They
Yeah.
fluctuate a lot within my top 5. So as of right now, they're my number 3. Don't make me choose a unit.
And as for biases go, my bias is Yuta with wrecker Jaehyun, ? I just really enjoy him, but I feel like I'm a pretty strong Yuta bias as of now.
Then for me, my bias is Johnny, and my wreckers are Doyoung, and Jaehyun's definitely lingering. Like, he was one of my first, like, initial picks, but he's definitely lingering. I'm quite petrified, because I was telling Andrea about my Doyoung issues, but I'm like, why is she validating me about to be double biased for 127? But I'm not going to officially make that statement yet.
Not yet.
But it's probably coming. But
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about
I
it.
feel like we've been talking more about double biasing in groups the past
Yeah.
couple of months. Yeah. It's just hard. And also,
is.
I totally understand your Doyoung issue. I see it 100%. And with Jaehyun, again, I feel like, is he on everybody's record list?
He has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
fact.
all. So I technically joined the fandom in the sticker favorite era. I don't think that was the first thing I technically watched of them, though. I think it was the Kick It dance practice. Because I think you were showing me their dance skills, and I
Yeah.
think that's correct.
That's typically, like, one of my go-tos I would show someone, so that would make sense.
Yeah, so I think that's technically my very first, like, introduction to NCT 127, but favorite vampire version was my first solid music video that I remember watching. I don't think it actually was the first music video that I watched, but it's what I remember, so that's what we're going with. I think if I were to go through my history of, like, watching them, I think Lemonade was really early on there, but anyways, they are just such a gigantic group. I remember being so intimidated when I was starting to get into them, and honestly, I waited way too long to get into them because it was so intimidating. I was also super drawn to their unique sound. They have such a unique style to their music, and we'll talk about that more in a second, but that is something that definitely stood out. Universe Let's Play Ball was the first comeback that I remember, and then Fire Truck was the first song that I listened to from them on repeat. Also, super random, but I just remember Mark standing out because he's an absolute icon, so I just remember him very distinctly in my entire NCT journey.
Love that. Now, I joined the fandom during the Kick It era. I think Cherry Bomb was my first music video that would kind of just make sense because when you search them, that's like one of the first ones that comes up. I definitely had a crush on Mark. I thought he was just really cool. The verses he had in that and just like his little screen time, I loved so much. I really enjoyed Jaehyun's visuals, and he was like definitely that initial bias potential for me. And then, you know, I wasn't just like, let me watch one video and move on. Like, I was
Gonna
like
binge
immediately
everything.
binging. So I immediately watched Kick It because it's like the era that I joined. And yeah, Johnny changed my life, and that was solidified very quickly. Loved Yuta's hair and just his style. Very captivating during like the dance practice, like the one that I had showed you. I studied the crap out of that dance practice. This was like, again, early on in my K-pop exposure, like literally the first group I got into. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, how do I learn all these people's names? I'm like, these names in general are quite literally foreign to me, like the way they
Yes.
sound, like everyone's look, like everything was so new and different.
We've talked about this before, but having NCT as one of your first groups, I don't know how you did it. I don't know how you got terrified and ran away, far away, but like, it's impressive. Something to put on your K-pop resume.
Right? But I just remember studying the dance practice on repeat, like going back and forth between music video with names and the dance practice to like really just kind of study more casual style them to make sure I got the faces and body
dedicated.
Right. Yeah, I was like really into it. During Taeil's high note in the dance practice, not just dance practice, but during Taeil's high note, Taeyoung has this like incredible, never seen before. What's that Lady Gaga quote?
Oh, incredible, never been done. Yeah, that one. Yes,
that. I have to say that for Taeyoung's little dance break. And I heavily appreciate Haechan a lot. Maybe he was like kind of like wrecker in the beginning.
He was honestly a wrecker for me in the beginning too. And I think I ended up deciding that he is, what did we end up calling that in our Types of Biases episode? I feel like
a talent wrecker or something
talent
like that?
wrecker, or like I just care about him a lot.
Just a big appreciation.
Yeah.
But overall, I just fell into them very, very quickly. Didn't know what I was doing, but somehow I figured it all out.
Round of applause.
So discussing on how the group formed, they are, I guess, technically still 10 members, but honestly not really. We're kind of a 9-member group now from SM Entertainment, and the number 127 comes from the longitude coordinates of Seoul. They debuted July 7th, 2016 with just 7 members, 2 members being added a few months later and another 2 years later.
2 years later. Dang.
The fandom is called NCTZEN, playing off NCT and Citizen. And a lot of times you just call each other like seasony, like, I don't know. That's kind of what the boys call us a lot of times.
It's cute.
And then the light stick is a neobong, that green square.
Yeah,
the sea of green.
You've seen it. If you've been to a K-pop concert, the neon green light, that's a neobong.
Now, in Korean, light stick is, sorry pronunciation, ungwangbong. That's the best I can do. But, so in Hangul, it's like circles for the symbols.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so they changed it to squares instead for that word because their light stick
is a square.
And so it literally changes the word to mumwanbum. And so like some people kind of like jokingly call it that occasionally.
That's really cool.
I put nothing for them.
Yeah, me either. I couldn't think of it. I tried.
Just cool.
I tried. They're cool.
For the group vibe, we literally couldn't even write anything. I couldn't think. I don't know. They're just really cool.
Yeah, they are.
Unique.
They're hip. They're unique. They're cool. I don't know. Their music, though, is very neo, which is kind of a word that they have made themselves. It's like a style of music that NCT founded, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I that might be a bold statement. I don't know. But, like, they're known for that sound, so that's where we're going to leave it. It's definitely an experimental hip-hop type of sound. And I saw on Reddit someone called it God-tier noise music, and I thought that was hilarious and very accurate.
Like whenever like your grandma's like, I don't want to listen to your music. It just sounds.
It's noisy.
It's just noise. That's what NCT is.
Yeah. It's the sound that makes your grandmother lose it. Yeah. They're also very much known for like very interesting and trendy choreo.
Like a lot of times groups will incorporate very trendy choreo. And I feel like at times like doing moves like that can be kind of cringy, but somehow they do it in a way that is so cool. So I just want to commend their choreographers for blending like trendy stuff in with their unique choreo in itself. It's very well done. And
I remember we like to have nights where we go through their choreo and we just watch them individually, and we're laughing so hard because it looks ridiculous by themselves. Like it's the weirdest choreo, but together somehow it looks so cool. Again, me throwing that word out there.
Especially with Chain.
Yes.
Don't watch just one member. When you watch like a dance practice for Chain, you'll just laugh. Watch it as a whole. Now, before we get into post-debut with NCT 127, let's talk about the boys. Sorry, gonna list some names again. We have Lee Taeyoung, Moon Taeil, Johnny Suh, Nakamoto Yuta, Kim Dong-young or Do-young, Jung Jae-hyun, or apparently Yuno, which I've never heard of that in my entire life, but he legally changed his name to that, but I've never heard anyone call him that. Anywho.
Conspiracy theory. Moving on.
Literally. Dong Soo-chung or Win-win, Kim Jong-woo, Mark Lee, and Lee Dong-hyuk or Haechan. And some members are in other units, so you'll hear their info in another episode as well. But Win-win, on the other hand, is an inactive member of 127, so we'll save most of his information and like journey for the Wavy episode in 3 weeks. So don't worry, we're not ignoring him, love him, just keeping him to his main group. Starting with Taehyung, he was born July 1st, 1995. He's currently 28. He's a Cancer, and as usual, we're mentioning blood type because blood type to them is zodiac to us. So he's type O blood, and his representative emoji is a rose. That's so fitting for him.
It is very fitting. Yeah. Like, that wouldn't be an emoji I would typically choose if someone were asking, like, what emoji do they fit? But that one fits him very, very well.
And how he got into the group, he was actually street cast for his visuals.
Accurate.
And legit. They told him that they were from a big three company, and he's like, what? And he thought they meant, like, KBS, SBS, and, like, TV stuff.
Oh, TV companies. Oh, no. Music entertainment companies.
And he ended up training for 4 years. So visuals to kind of pick him out of the group amongst the other members. He has bigger eyes and a smaller face, very sharp jawline, and usually has like very unique hairstyles, colors, just style in general.
It's very bold, very out there. Yeah.
And his position within the group is everything. So leader of the group, NCT as a whole, and this unit as well. Main rapper, main dancer, sub vocalist, visual, center, and face of the group.
So quite literally everything.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
I don't think a single thing except like Macne is missing.
Yeah.
And some nicknames for him are just like TY, so Taehyung, Boo Boo, and like T Young. And his fans are called T Young F, so it's like GF at the end, like girlfriend at the end. It's really cute.
I feel like I see the T Young a lot, and I always get confused, but then I just have to like say it, and I'm like, oh duh, like Taehyung, like T Young, got it. But like for some reason I see that everywhere, and I'm like, what new member is this? But yeah, it's Taehyung.
And for his personality, he is so sweet and charismatic. He's just like genuinely one of the most thoughtful and endearing leaders out there within K-pop. And just in general, he's very honest with his fans and shares a lot of his feelings with us, especially in his solo lives. Just a very personable idol. Definitely the mom of the group. I had 19 children. Now he has 25 children.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Like to be the leader of such a big group like that, insane. I don't know how he does it.
Like I could never.
Being a leader of a smaller group is intimidating.
I know. And then along with all these other things, he's just a very unique man. I don't know how else to say that, but that just him as himself, like his
aura,
I guess, aura, persona, just the way
his style
presents himself, style, and like you see it a lot with his solo work. He's just very unique, eclectic. I don't know.
That's a big word.
I mean, I don't know what that means. It's like
either.
Funky, unique people, right? It's like a nice way of saying it.
No idea.
Eclectic. I just hear words.
I use them.
I hear words and I use them.
Have you seen that thing where it's like I like to use big words to make myself sound more photosynthesis?
So funny. So as a performer, Taehyung is very captivating. Your eyes will always be on him, regardless who your bias is.
We've said this before, but eye magnet type people.
Oh yeah.
He's one of them.
Just has a very big stage presence, and kind of similar to like his unique like style and everything, he has a very unique charisma when on stage. Very different from like his personality. And fun facts about him, he was born in Seoul, so really spending his whole life there. His whole group is about just being a Seoul-based unit, coordinates for Seoul.
So it's on brand for him. Yeah.
And he has mesophobia, which is the fear of germs, but it's not super serious. Like he can manage.
He's also like a fashion icon, and I say that kind of with a question mark because I don't really know what that means. It's just like, because he's not necessarily in high brand wear, but just his like fashion sense in general is very cool. And I don't even know if he's super into fashion, but regardless, his like fashion style is iconic.
And random fun fact is he likes strawberry macaroons and green tea ice cream. Those just sound just very endearing things for him.
They are.
And before joining SM, he actually dreamt of being a firefighter, so kind of ironic with this whole fire truck debut, but
that is awesome.
His dreams were met in a different way though. And he was a temporary DJ for NCT Night Night, which was a radio show done by Johnny and Jaehyun. And he is also a member of Super M, which we briefly mentioned earlier. He did the OST for Hotel Del Luna, and he debuted officially as a soloist in 2023, so this year, with his mini album Shalala.
Which, quickly talking about Shalala, that was such a fun song.
And I remember when it came out, I told you, I was like, listen, I've heard, because I think I did actually fully wait to watch it with you. but I had heard from other people like it's a weird one. It's very like just different.
And
but I'm
we were
like
optimistic. I'm like, I like weird music. That's kind of my whole thing. So, we'll give it a chance. Watched it, absolutely loved it, and it just grew more and more on me as the days went by.
It's so him, and it's honestly like, yeah, it's weird, but like what else would you expect from the leader of NCT?
Period.
And Andrea helped me with the notes here, and she wants to shout out Long Flight because she loves it. That was technically an SM Station release, so it's like a solo song through SM Station, just to confuse you more.
Yeah, because I looked at this note and I was like, what is SM Station? What is NCT Lab? I don't understand.
Okay, so I think they changed like rules on things and like how often they're released, but I'm pretty sure with SM Station it's like a series where they released a song from different artists within SM, so like any group across SM every weekend, like once a weekend or something like that. And so it could be like literally like NCT one day, Red Velvet the next, like all different kind of groups.
All of SM.
All of SM. And some could be collabs, some were just complete solo songs from the groups.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's just a project from SM. So they were technically like solo songs, but they weren't like solo debuts since like that was released well before, but Shalala was his like actual solo, I'm a soloist now
For
debut.
the SM Station, right?
No. Shalala was him, like his official solo debut.
Oh, got it.
Whereas
The
Long
other
Flight
stuff.
was solo, but like not official.
I get it. And so NCT Lab is similar thing, but NCT.
But just NCT, yes.
I get it.
So and that one was like, I don't even know, like once a month. They
just released a bunch of it,
bi-weekly, and then they had like a huge moment like very recently, but they're dropping a bunch. Their schedule was like went off the rail much later. And Taeyong has a lot of tattoos. One is Ruby tattoo for his dog named Ruby that passed away. He also has a song dedicated to Ruby on his album. It's a very sweet song. He has the word understand because he wants to be understood but also understand others, so it's kind of like a good reminder. And then he has swords that he got during the US Super In promotions because he said it was a very difficult time, but Baekhyun would always tell him to go kill it on stage, and so he got the tattoo to help his confidence.
That's really sweet.
No, I was like, that's really sweet that he like kind of took his words and was like, okay, like let me make a tattoo out of this. And another one for his self-confidence was like rude boy.
Like the words on it. That's cool. That's edgy too.
Yeah.
Next, moving on to Taeil. Taeil was born June 14th, 1994, so he is currently 29 years old. He is a Gemini, type O blood, and his representative emoji is a moon because his last name is Moon. Moon Taeil.
I love it.
Yes, you've spoken to me very early on in NCT Discovery. You were telling me about his name. It is the most beautiful name I've ever heard in my life.
His name is literally my favorite name in the whole wide world.
Moon
I
Taeil.
love it to death.
Stunning. And his journey into the company, he was scouted by SM. At the same time, he was accepted to college. He chose college at first, but then changed his mind soon after due to his love for singing. He ended up training for 3 years.
I know that was probably such like a hard decision because I'm sure those are two very different routes you could have taken, especially at that age. So like I can't even imagine the stress.
Yeah, like having to give up your whole like potential life to try out this thing just because you're passionate about it.
But hey, it paid off obviously.
And if you're looking to pick Taeil out of the group, he has very high cheekbones, a square jawline, and a sheepish smile. He's also the shorter member in NCT 127.
I mean, overall too, to be quite honest.
His position in the group is main vocalist, and some of his nicknames are Moon and Ilhyung.
That's so cute.
It's really cute. Again, his name is just so like versatile.
Perfect.
It's amazing. For his personality, he's pretty quiet and calm and very caring, especially for the younger members in the group. He's also very unexpectedly funny. Despite his quieter personality, he just has great side jokes at the most random times. And as a performer, he has very strong and stable vocals. He is the main vocalist for a reason, and honestly very underrated.
I hate how underrated he is. I know SM has like a lot of groups, and it can be like hard to pinpoint like your favorite vocalist, but he's so up there.
And some fun facts about Taeil. He was also born in Seoul, so again, really on brand there for the group. He also learned Aikido, which is a modern Japanese martial art, in elementary school. He wanted to be a zookeeper when he was younger.
That's like, I was about to say it's like a classic kid job you want, but I feel like everyone wanted to be like an astronaut and stuff. Like those were like random out there ones. I don't think I ever knew a zookeeper kid.
I don't think I did either. I knew like marine biologists, and I knew like
Princess.
again, princess veterinarians. Like I knew that, but zookeeper's fun.
That's adventurous. That's really fun.
He also can play the guitar and the piano. And something really cute, he used to keep a 4-leaf clover in his wallet.
I love
so
that.
Endearing.
That is so cute.
He did do an NCT Lab song called NYCT with Hetchen, and he also has a lot of solo songs doing OSTs or covers. And on August 14th, 2023, so just very recently, he got into a motorbike accident and fractured his thigh and took some time off for the surgery and to heal.
So if you are getting into them right now and you kind of see someone missing from the latest comeback fact check, that's why. He did have like promo photos and they incorporated him like a little bit in a few scenes with the music video, like as best as they could while he was healing. But yeah, he's kind of MIA at the moment, just recovering, and really hoping he'll come back like as soon as possible, but however long it takes, we want him to heal. Next member is Johnny, who was born February 9th, 1995, so he's currently 28 years old. He's Aquarius, type B blood, and his representative emoji is a cat.
I'm seeing your cat emoji bias line again.
Yep. So he was accepted to SM through Global Audition in 2007. So this was kind of like, I don't know, overall a very weird thing. So he trained in total for like 8.5 years. That sounds crazy long, but like with this whole like Global Audition back in the day, he did a lot of like back and forth. During the summer, he would go from like home, like Chicago, to Korea to train. So kind of like a summer camp, but K-pop training.
That's so much fun.
During more of his official training when he was in Korea, he had time off and saw that they were concerned about very different things. And there were things that he wished he could be concerned about and wanted to be concerned about, just things that like we're concerned about, normal stuff. Whereas he was concerned with K-pop lifestyle things. Whereas he was stressing about like debuting and all this like crazy,
like more deep thought, like mature,
like like all this other stuff. He's like, I want to be concerned with like what my friends are concerned about. And he ended up looking at colleges because he's like, okay, like am I about to like leave this and go back to some more of like a normal life? But he had a lot of people behind him saying to just give it one more try, and a fellow member, Doyoung, is one that wrote him a note just like asking him to stay. It's the sweetest time. I'm definitely gonna like touch on this kind of time frame and like what they mean to each other like a little later in the episode, but very thankful for him and like everyone that asked him to stay,
convinced him to stay. Yeah.
Now for his visuals with finding him out of the members, easiest one, he's the tallest one.
Very tall. Yeah.
Now he does have kind of, I would say, like wider features and odd to say, but like pretty lips, and they're like kind of like upturned a little bit.
Yeah, like at the ends. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just stunning. That's it. And his position in the group is lead dancer, sub-rapper, and sub-vocalist. Nicknames, honestly, anything related to Chicago, that's kind of like, I would almost say like a personality trait at this point.
Yeah.
So like you kind of hear like Chicago boy on occasion. And honestly, Mark just very randomly calls him by his full name, like he's his mom. Like he's like, Johnny Saw, like out of nowhere.
I get it. Like I relate to Mark right now because Johnny Saw, that again, an iconic
Like
name.
it's almost, I mean, like even similar to Mark, he's one of those people you almost have to say him by their full name, like Mark Lee.
Mark Lee.
Like it's just like,
Johnny
it's
Saw.
like a thing.
Yeah, I
don't
get it.
know.
Jackson Wang. Also,
Yeah.
yeah, some people you just say with a full name.
So for his personality, the best personality ever, just saying. He's very charming and funny, very specific kind of humor, and it's just everything. Like, he's the kind of person that can get along with absolutely anyone, and he's kind of like what I'd say, like, the people's idol. Just a very relatable person.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who doesn't really love Johnny. Like when they're getting into NCT, even if he's not your bias, you can't help but absolutely love his content. This is everywhere.
So under my performer notes, this is kind of like all over the place, and I feel like I didn't really take this seriously. So I'm reading this bullet per bullet. SM stopped giving my man goofy ass lines. He has more to offer, but they won't let him. Fun stage presence. This man is hot. I mean, that's honestly all you need to know.
No, for real. Yeah.
Overall, though, like, they need to take these little sub rapper, so get the sub out of there. Just make it something else. Make it a main, make it a lead. Because they just, like, he's definitely one of the members they don't give lines to as much as others. It's very frustrating.
And they do tend to give him the small English line that's just really goofy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like we talking about Blue's Clues. We're talking, that's the only one that's coming to my brain.
Yes,
but I know
there's
there's
other
like
ones.
a billion. They always give him like the most random whack lines, and I'm like, why are we doing this to him? Like, it's still overall, like, as the song sounds good, and it becomes a meme within the fandom, so I'm not too mad about it.
And he kills it. Like, he does great.
But there's so many other times where, like, he does a really good job. I'm like, can we please, like, just give him this? Like, we've seen it before, like, in Gimme Gimme. Literally, gimme more of that, because it was so good. And I don't know. I'm just upset. But anyway, he has amazing stage presence. I love him. That's all.
I think I was the one that added this man is hot, like capital HOT, because
really is.
wow. Yeah. Little spoiler, we'll go into this a little bit later, but we got to see NCT 127 in Texas, and he was just, again, kind of an eye magnet. So good.
So fun facts about Johnny, as I briefly mentioned earlier, he was born in Chicago, Illinois. He speaks English and Korean. He can play the piano, and he played volleyball in high school.
I need to rant about this for just a second, because that's one of the hottest sports a man can play. I don't understand it either, but it is so attractive. So bonus points to Johnny for that one.
Also, with him being so tall, he was probably
he was probably amazing. Yeah.
Watch be like the worst, and he was always benched.
You know what? We'll give him that credit.
Hey, he was still on the team. Whenever he was in training, he did train alongside EXO members.
That's iconic.
I love that. Love them as well, but this is not that group chat yet. And he was a DJ with Jaehyun on NCT Night Night. And just in general, this man like is quite literally like a DJ. He does DJing like gigs and stuff. He's so good. I want him to like
really
do more
cool.
of it.
Yeah.
And I was talking with Andrea at one point over like different like members of the group and like solo projects and like what that would look like, because I think we were talking about enlistment.
That's a scary word.
Like the scary enlistment era that is coming for NCT, and how a lot of them won't have to enlist because they weren't like born in Korea. We were talking about how we're like really excited for like Yuta's solo stuff if he does any, because like that's her bias. And I'm like, Johnny, I'm like, what would he do? I'm like, I would be very interested to see like if he were to do solo work, if like what style he'd want to do and what it would sound like. Because again, like they're just not giving him a whole lot within the group. So I'm like, I feel like it'd be very different from what we already get.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what kind of album he would drop. Yeah.
Or if he would just focus on like DJ stuff. And like honestly, very random. I think he would just be like an amazing, I guess like next Eric Nam.
I can see that, yeah.
He has that perfect personality for it. And I feel like he would be amazing for like any kind of like talk show type situation.
I feel like he's definitely one of those idols where you're like, his career is not going to be stopping after he's an idol. Like he is going to be involved with entertainment somewhere. Yeah, exactly.
And some other fun facts is he starred in Lipstick Prince that aired April 2017. So the show was like hoping to break stereotypes that makeup is only for women and encourage a discussion of cosmetics and beauty among male idols. So like
that's so
there's
cool.
Other idols that were like a part of it, not just like him.
I want to watch that. That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm. And he's very into fashion. I was watching a video recently where he's like very into pants, and I'm like, that's a random thing, but honestly for him, with him having such long legs, I feel like he can like pull off a lot of cool looks, I guess. And he can get more, there's a lot more like real estate going on down there with like what he can do. Me, I'm 5'2".
Right.
There's only so much I can do, and it look like just shortens my legs so much.
It's like a runway model like type thing. Yeah.
And I feel like people had like mentioned like, would you like to make a brand at some point, but he'd rather collab with them rather than like make his own. And he did attend the 2022 Met Gala with Peter Do, who's worked with other member Gino, but we'll save that for the Dream episode. He's just like gotten really cool opportunities with fashion lately, and I'm really happy for him because he's perfect for it. And kind of how we were talking about childhood aspirations, he literally has veterinarian on here.
Yes, Johnny. I get it. That's suiting for him. I can imagining little Johnny. I get it.
And he also dreamt of being an actor. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
And he also has tattoos. This is not me being biased, but I love his tattoos so much. The art style is stunning. They're just, I don't know who his artist is, but they're just so high quality. So the most notable one that everyone knows about is his sunflower tattoo. So the meaning of his tattoo, which is like quoted directly from him, is the sunflower is always facing the sun. And I always wanted to remember that, no matter what situation I'm in, to be positive and always keep on moving towards the sun.
That's really sweet.
Really nice meaning. So for that is on his left forearm. He has a sun on his left bicep, a cheetah between like some olive branches on his left shoulder. That one is like what I rave about so much. That one's
It's very detailed.
beautiful, beautiful. And like a swallow bird that's like right by that, which questionably really like matching with Taehyung. Taehyung does have like a little swallow on him, so maybe it's like the style.
Another member that like had a swallow at some point too, and they were like, "Are these connected? Like, are they at the same time?" I can't remember.
Yuta has like some birds, but I don't know if it's like. Whereas theirs is like just like an individual swallow.
Right, but maybe they're matching. Don't know.
And he has his own YouTube show called Johnny's Communication Center, or like sometimes you'll see it shortened just as like JCC.
Most iconic thing on the entire planet.
I cannot. This is why I'm saying like I need him to be like the next Eric Nam, because I mean honestly Eric Nam isn't out here like vlogging, but you can see that kind of personality through this. It's literally just him doing fun activities and vlogging. Some of it will be just very silly, like doing sketches with Mark, painting his nails with Yuta, making a little aquarium with Taehyung, or more informative and like really cool behind the scenes stuff. So he took us behind the scenes on them creating the album and like going to the warehouse where they're like packaging everything up, making the CD, putting the music on the CD, and like the conveyor belt where they're like putting in photo cards and everything, and he like had to help, and they're like quicker, and he's like, what? He's like, this is intense. And then I know,
that's so cool.
I know, it's like really cool to see.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think any other idol is giving us the kind of content that Johnny does with this YouTube show.
Because there's another one where they, like him and Jaehyun went to their designers, I guess, and they were kind of seeing like mock-up versions and like swatches and all this stuff of their outfits for like their upcoming performance and like comeback stage.
That's so
cool. It was really cool, and they're like, here, like have fun, and they're like putting patches on different areas. He's like, I want my patch here, like blah blah. And they're just kind of like creating their own.
Oh my gosh!
And they're like, if this looks good, like keep it there, but if not, like it's whatever.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
What a cool insight to like what happens behind the scenes too. That's amazing, and they're just so entertaining. Oh my gosh, absolutely love watching them.
Yeah, so like those are definitely like, good things to watch if you're just wanting to get to know the members, and like obviously it's more focused around Johnny, but like almost every episode will feature at least one member. And this is the most random note ever, but he really missed the opportunity to have his Instagram handle be Sudude, because like what's up dude, but also like
his last name
Johnny
Dude. Oh my gosh, that humor, that weird dumb Gen Z humor is so NCT in general. Like Dude, that would have been perfect.
Like in my brain, Mark has told him that exact thing.
Probably. Next member is going to be Yuta. He was born October 26, 1995. Happy late birthday to him. He is currently 28 years old now. He is a Scorpio, type A blood, and his representative emoji is an octopus.
I love it. It makes so much sense.
It does.
For him.
It's hilarious. Yuta passed the global audition in Osaka, Japan, and he was actually SM's first Japanese idol. He trained for 3 years, and if you're looking to pick him out of the group, he has a very big, wide smile, a square chin, and a very high nose bridge. Also, he kind of has RBF. It's hilarious.
It can make him seem intimidating, but it's not.
Exactly. His position in the group is lead dancer, sub-rapper, and sub-vocalist. And some of his nicknames are Tokoyaki Prince, which shout out to his representative emoji of an octopus there. And also Manly Man. He used to say this a lot when they debuted because he was very athletic. And then also Yukari, which was given to him by Taehyung during the trainee days. And then he also has the nickname of Lion given to him by Jungwoo when he had his long blonde hair. And then apparently he would do little cute lion poses when you say it to him. So cute. For Yuta's personality, he is very honest and speaks what's on his mind, but he's also very funny. He's a major flirt, and he's just very edgy and like alternative. Just think Scorpio energy, and that kind of wraps him up in a nutshell. As a performer, he's very captivating, and again, I feel like he's very underrated. Like, SM, please give him more content. I'm seeing a common theme here. Yeah, like, come on, SM, let's go. He's also very confident. His flirtiness definitely comes into play on stage. We saw this firsthand.
Yeah.
It gave me panic. And he has a very unique aura to him. Some fun facts, he was born in Osaka, Japan, and because of that, he can speak Japanese and Korean. He also likes watermelon, bento, takoyaki, and tteokbokki. Relatable. He played soccer for 11 years as a kid, and he also left his home at 16 years old by himself to pursue this dream of becoming a K-pop idol, and I just really want to commend him on that.
I can't even like imagine what that's like.
As a parent and as him.
Oh, I know.
Like, oh my gosh, my 16-year-old going off to become a music star? Like, absolutely
like,
not.
Who do you think you are, Hannah Montana?
But at the same time, like, that's so brave of him.
I know.
Like, and at that age to know what you're wanting to do so much, like, that's really commendable. He was also on JTBC's Abnormal Summit representing Japan. Yuta also has his own radio show that airs every Thursday on Inter FM called Yuta at Home. He plays music that he likes, talks to fans, and shares stories about his life and his childhood. Apparently there are over 100 episodes.
So many.
I haven't listened to them, but I'm very curious, like, because that's just really sweet. It's kind of like what we're doing. He's got a little podcast.
Yeah.
He's also very into Japanese rock and visual kei. His favorite artists are L'Arc and CL, Miyavi, Relate, and One OK Rock and Acid Black Cherry. He also became friends with Hyde, the lead singer of L'Arc, and Miyavi, which is so cool because I believe both Hyde and Miyavi are members of the Last Rock Stars.
I loved seeing the photos of them together.
Yeah, they're so fun. Everyone always makes the connection that Miyavi is Yuta's long-lost dad, and I think it's so funny. Yuta also had a lot of influence from TVXQ when he was becoming a K-pop idol, which we've briefly talked about them before. They're so iconic in the entire world of K-pop, so that's amazing of him. He's also released some covers, some being Japanese rock covers, so you can hear kind of a different side to his voice that's not really used by SM, and then he also does some screamo in them.
Like, that's why, like, I'm really hoping he does a lot of solo work.
Me
once
too.
people start enlisting, because, again, like, all of these members, like, so much so with NCT, their members come from all over the world, like, all different cultures and everything. So they're just all very, very different people and have such vast interests, obviously.
Yeah, and skills.
Just, like, music taste. So it'd be so cool to see what everyone does.
I've also been in such a rock mood lately, and Japanese rock is iconic, so I would love to hear that from him. He's also starred in a Japanese drama, Play It Cool Guys, and a Japanese movie called High and Low, The Worst Ex.
Oh my gosh, I remember when this came out, I was gonna watch it immediately, but then I was like, wait, I actually do want to know, like, the whole storyline, because there's, like, several before this one.
Ooh.
And I need to watch it still. Like, I still haven't.
Let's binge. I'm so down.
I'm down.
And as we kind of said before, he has an edgier style. He usually has longer hair, painted nails, black clothes. He also has a belly button piercing, which is so iconic. Absolutely love that. And he has a butterfly tattoo on his hip, which represents freedom. There's also birds on his other hip, kind of like we said earlier, like the bird tattoo relation kind of. And he has a chain wrapped around his arm with the numbers 127 on it. I feel like a lot of our NCT members have really cool tattoos, honestly. He's also very artistic and into drawing in general. And a super random fact to kind of wrap this up, his fans are called Ai, which means love in Japanese.
That is precious.
Really cute.
Next member is Doyoung. He was born February 1st, 1996, so he's currently 27. He's Aquarius, type B blood, and representative emoji is a bunny.
Again, very fitting.
And he ended up being scouted at a singing competition. Just like the most side note, who's out here deciding what SM agent is going to what random singing competition?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And like, why?
They're like, let's just send an agent here and just see.
They're just like, they really out here going to high school recitals and like stuff. I imagine so in high school I did Broadway.
Yeah.
It's like end of the year performance thing where you like sing, dance. Some people were able to have like solos, special stage stuff, whatever. And I just imagine the idea of like, if that was in Korea,
there'd be agents all over there.
There'd be agents, secret agents up in there. Like, that's just, it's a completely different world. It's very interesting. Anywho, if you're trying to pick him out from the group, he has a longer and thin face. Once again, pretty upturned lips. Why is this low-key theme for me all of a sudden? Very round but sharp eyes, and has that actor look. We've stated this before in other group chats, where there's always one member in every group that looks like they are an actor. He's the one. His position in the group is main vocalist, and his nickname, sometimes like randomly hear him called Charlie. That was like from his English academy. For his personality, he's very reserved and likable, and honestly just a comforting person for like not only fans but the members themselves. And he was actually voted the most reliable member. And he's also kind of sassy with the other members and like bickers a lot with them. So even though he's like very endearing and caring, it's just like very like brother banter. As a performer, he just has stunning vocals, especially live, like genuinely like unbelievable when live.
I mean, his vocals on the tracks, the official tracks, is stunning. So you can only imagine that live it is that much better.
And some fun facts about him. Also another member born in Seoul. Or were they just like looking for Seoul kids?
That's it. They were just like, this is like, the only criteria.
Yeah, like the only criteria is you need to be born in Seoul. He really likes cream cheese bread. Yum. We have a shop down the street we go to. So good. He can play the flute. So random. Who's out here playing the flute? Not me.
Honestly, though, playing the flute is hard.
I know.
Like, I don't understand how people do it.
Playing any instrument to me is hard.
But like wind instruments?
Like a wind, yeah. How? He also really likes to sleep and tends to take his ISFJ MBTI very literally and told that he's just extremely introverted. You are one letter off from me, sir. Because I don't feel. He also starred in Lipstick Prince. His episode aired December 2016. He was the lead in Dear Ex Who Doesn't Love Me as Jung Shio, and it was in Cafe Midnight, The Curious Stalker. And his brother Gong Myung's also an actor. He was an MC for NBC's Show Champion before his debut, and MC on SBS Inkigayo with Jin Young from GOT7 and Jisoo from Blackpink.
So he was from the companies that Taeyong thought was trying to get him
Literally.
into NCT. Okay, but also an MC before his debut? That's crazy.
It was probably, I don't know like what year. I could probably look it up right now. A lot of NCT members and like I guess SM as a whole, I know SM, but I'm not like into every group that deeply. But a lot of the members are kind of like benched. They're on the SM debut
they're like
bench.
Johnny's volleyball team.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry, Johnny.
They're like on the SM debut bench, and they're in like SM rookies. So I don't know if it was like during that time frame, because when you're in SM rookies, I think you can like technically still do a few random things like Jungwoo did. So I'm like, possibly. I actually don't know, but I would assume so, because like why would you have some random kid off the streets
be an MC? Yeah, I mean they did just kind of pull him out of his singing recital, so I guess
they did.
anything can happen at SM. SM's a mystery.
Honestly.
SM. Soul mystery.
Now his NCT Lab releases were Connection with Mark and Hechen. Biggest shout out ever to Shotro. Again, check him out in Rise. Shotro was the one that did the performance video. So if you were to like look that up and you see like a member dancing with other people, it's him. And he's also a member of Dojejung, which is the subunit from the subunit NCT 127. Like, why are we having like NCTception?
Ooh, NCTception.
Yes.
Whoa.
So that's with him, Jaehyun, and Jungwoo. Speaking of one of those members.
Next member we are going to talk about is Jaehyun. He was born February 14th, 1997. Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So cute. Which makes him 26 years old at the time of this recording. He is an Aquarius type A blood, and his representative emoji is a peach.
That is like very oddly fitting.
Again,
like
yeah.
This, like, you know what I mean? You didn't see that because this is not on cam.
Yeah.
But like, I feel
like the whole
like his face, I feel like would be like a peach. You know what I mean? Just like the softness and perfection of a peach is his face.
That's so accurate.
Like
his face is quite literally perfect.
Like people have peach fuzz. I doubt idols do because like whatever, they're like hairless cats. But I just feel like he has that softness. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, honestly, just him having a perfect face in general. We've said this many a times, but he has quite literally one of the best visuals in all of K-pop. I think we put him in our top idols episode. Yeah, so I get it. Makes sense.
Pretty boy, you like peaches.
Shout out to Kai. I love how Kai has made such a name for himself that anything peach related, I immediately think of him.
Same.
Anyway, Jaehyun was street cast outside school while he was leaving. So similar theming. Again, just kind of plucked out of school there. And he ended up training for 4 years. If you were trying to pick him out of the group, like we just said, he is handsome. He has dimples, very soft cheeks, kind of like bread cheeks, if you understand that. You understand. And then also a square jawline.
It's like, so somehow he is like the cutest but the hottest person ever. Like, I don't
understand it, yeah, but it's fact check.
Okay.
Jaehyun's position in NCT 127 is main vocalist, lead dancer, sub-rapper, and visual. His nicknames, honestly, he has a ton of really random nicknames, but a few of them include Valentine Boy because of his birthday. I love that. And Jay, which is his English name, and Jamal. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I've seen this. I've seen it plenty. I've seen it plenty of times. I've never done my due diligence in looking it up.
All right.
I'll do it right now. Live.
Why is Jaehyun called Jamal? That was one of the first searches.
Why do NCT and citizens call Jaehyun Jamal? Okay, it's from Shopee Indonesia 1111 live show. They gave all of them new names. That's all.
Oh, okay. Cute.
Fun fact.
For his personality, he's very outgoing and very sweet. Just a lot of boyfriend material here. He's also very confident and very funny without trying. He's also known as a happy virus for the group, and he also can be very sensitive at times. Honestly, again, just wrapped up with a bow boyfriend. As a performer, he's very captivating and cool on stage. He's also just very entertaining, very fun, and he has a very perfectly blended duality when it comes to stage presence. And jumping into our fun facts, I bet you can't guess what our first fun fact is. He was born in Seoul.
That's the criteria. They quite literally saw a kid leave a school in
was
Seoul,
street cast.
and they're like, done, we found him.
Seoul hit every box that we're looking for.
He's in Seoul. He's in school. He's cute. And here we are.
Now, Jaehyun's birth name is Jung Jaehyun, but he legalized it to Jung Yuno.
When, where, what, how, why?
Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, it's fine. Like,
What's
you do
the
whatever you
reason?
want to do, but yeah, why?
What was the reason?
And like, part of me when you first told me about this, I was like, okay, maybe he's like wants to have a life separate from his idol life, right? So he like goes under a different name. Like if he were to buy a house or if he were to get married or whatever, he'd go under that other name so that people can't search him up. So like maybe, but I don't know. Very interesting. Jong, you know.
It sounds so wrong with him.
Yeah, it's Jaehyun. But he also speaks English and Korean because he lived in Connecticut from the age 5 to 10.
He will not let you forget that. The whole like foreign swaggers thing, he was claiming to be a member. Just let him do it.
He's also very good at piano and basketball, and he has a black belt in Taekwondo. He was an MC for NBC's Show Champion alongside Do Young, and he was a DJ with Johnny on NCT Night Night. He was also the lead in Dear M as Cha Minho. Very cool. Again, I feel like he would do so well in the actor career, so would love to see more of that in the future. And then for his NCT lab, he did Forever Only and Horizon. And then he also had some releases with the SM Station thing we were talking about earlier called Try Again. And like we said at the very beginning, he is a member of Do Jae-jung.
Getting into our last member of Do Jae-jung, we have Jungwoo. He was born February 19th, so a few days after Jaehyun, just a different year, in 2019.
In 2019. He's 4.
And he is 4 years old, babes. and he trained for 3 years. So
He's
one year out of the womb, he's like, let's go.
Let's go. Ready.
I'm ready. And he debuted with Boss, and he is a boss.
Boss baby?
Boss baby. Jungkook is the boss baby. Okay, let's try that again. He was born... Oh gosh. He was born February 19th, 1998. So he's currently 25, Pisces, type AB blood, and his representative emoji is a puppy. He joined SM through their weekly Saturday auditions at the age of 3. He trained for 3 years and debuted with Boss, which is so iconic. So that was an NCTU release that he debuted with.
Oh, that is cool.
And for his visuals, he has a very pure look, cute smile, big round eyes, like slightly longer nose, and full lips. And in the group, he is the lead vocalist and lead dancer. For nicknames, some is like Zeus, which I think Jaehyun gave him because Jungwoo sounds like Zeus. I don't know.
Their pronunciation
just so
somehow
random,
there. Yeah.
And Snoopy, which is just really cute.
His dog emoji. Yeah, that's adorable.
He has a lot of Snoopy stuff. And for his personality, he's definitely the innocent member. Honestly, this man is still such a mystery to me. Like, we see a lot of him, but, like, his persona with the whole innocent thing is real big. Like, it's, I don't know.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah, and I just feel like he's still, like, a mystery to everyone just because of that. But he's just a big softie for the members and really sweet and a big comfort for them. And he's just really funny and outgoing as well. Also, like, a happy pill member. And as a performer, I swear he's like a secret force to be reckoned with. We saw that for sure during his solo stage.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It was so good.
He performed Lipstick and it was stunning. It was giving like 10 energy.
Yes, it was. Like 10 would be so proud of him. Yeah.
And some fun facts about him. He joined 2 years after the group debuted in September 2018 before their first full album, Regular Irregular. He was in Super Junior Yesung's music video, Paper Umbrella. He can speak Chinese, He has a background in ballet and hip hop, which he's won awards for. He's a big foodie, just loves like big portions, eating like all the food. Just very into it.
Felt that.
Same. In 2019, he took a rest due to like health issues and like had a little hiatus and came back. Also, so random, but like just blows my mind. He's very, very smart. He went to a technical high school and was a mechanical engineer student who was like majoring in computer applied machinery. Like what?
Whoa.
I'm sorry,
That's
what?
some big brain stuff right there.
He got big brain. Again, he's a mystery.
The next member is Mark. He was born August 2nd, 1999, which makes him 24 years old. He is a Leo, type A blood, and his representative emoji is a tiger. He passed the global audition in Vancouver, Canada, and trained for 4 years. For visuals, if you're trying to pick him out, he has a smaller face and features, but a very sharp jawline and very youthful eyes. His position in the group is main rapper, main dancer, and sub-vocalist. And some nicknames, he used to be called Baby Cheetah or Baby Lion when he first debuted, which again I feel like is really fitting with his emoji, very cute. And as for his personality, he has a quote lame humor, but it's hilarious. Like it's so Gen Z coded.
It is.
I swear, he's the one who is always saying the dumbest things, and it's just absolutely meme-worthy. We quote him all the time. He's an icon in this household and an icon in all of K-pop. He also just laughs all of the time, very contagious laughter, and he's very genuine. Very easy to talk to, very, very likable, and honestly, he is an ace. He's a jack of all trades. There's not a single thing that this man cannot do. And as a performer, he is one of the hardest working men in K-pop.
I'm sorry, his back hurts from carrying the industry.
Yeah,
sorry.
For real. He is just constantly producing content, doing things. Like, if something NCT or SM is happening, Mark's probably a part of it, and I don't know how he does it and keeps up with all of it. But anyway, he also has an amazing stage presence and just has very raw talent. Some fun facts about Mark: he was born in Toronto but moved to Vancouver, Canada. He used to want to be a novelist when he was younger, and he speaks English and Korean. He actually helped write lyrics for The Seventh Sense with Taeyong as well, which, huge shout out, that song is everything. For his NCT Lab projects, he did Child and Golden Hour, which are his newer ones, and then he did Connection with Doyoung and Haechan. He also lives in the 127 dorm.
So yeah, since he's part of NCT Dream as well, he specifically lives with the 127 dorm.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know they were separated in dorms by unit.
Yeah, they're not all together.
I just want to be a fly on the wall in SM's building.
Like,
oh yeah,
Wavy's just chilling with their pets, and it cracks me up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I just want to be a fly on the wall in the SM building. I just want to see, how do things work in there?
I have no idea, and I'm always so like confused by the dorms, to be completely honest, because this could probably even be the wrong group, because it was like literally 3 years ago whenever I was getting into K-pop, so I think it was them, where they were like in like a dorm area and they're like outside, and then like other members from a different unit were like walking, so it's like I don't know if like they could like see their other members but they like aren't in the same group or like live together. It's very
so
weird.
Interesting.
So I don't, and again, like people do like technically move around in dorms, and they might like, I don't know, so I never really know like what the official like living situation is, or like who's where, but I don't know, it's very interesting.
But Mark's with 127.
Yep.
We know that. Like we just said, he's also a part of NCT Dream. He's also a part of Super M. Again, this guy is just absolutely everywhere. And as I've said many times, Mark is an absolute icon.
Next member we have is Haechan. He was born June 6th, 2000. So he's currently 23. He's a Gemini, type AB blood, and representative emoji is a bear. And his mom actually encouraged him to audition, and he passed the weekly audition similar to Jungkook, and he ended up training for 2 years. For his visuals to pick him out amongst the other members, he has a small heart-shaped face, fuller lips, and usually just has a very golden skin, like just, he's more tan member. And his position within the group, he's main vocalist, lead dancer. Where's the respect that needs,
for real?
Like, please put more respect on his name for being a dancer like this. And Maknae. For his nicknames, Dongsuki and Fulsun. And his personality, he's very into skinship, and so he's like very close, touchy, and lovey with all the members, like just like literally, I mean, he is the Maknae, so he's just like very like cuddly child.
He gives like the epitome of Maknae energy.
Yeah,
I feel like is Haechan. Yeah.
And he jokes around a lot of like quick-witted like humor, and just a big mood maker for the group. And as a performer, he has amazing charisma, very captivating. He just makes everything look so effortless. He's just very talented, and he's one that I'm really hoping does solo work in the future. Like him and like one other, I think it was like very randomly like unrelated, like Nikki from Enhypen. Like those
Yeah.
are two of like the younger ones in K-pop right now that I'm really looking forward to solo stuff in the future. I just feel like his stuff would be like so next level, and I feel like he'd like get more respect like after that would
In the
happen.
industry
Like
kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, like people would finally see his potential
Yeah,
if he
because
did
just
solo
as a
stuff.
performer and like his dancing skills are just like literally just so next level, and I just need everyone to appreciate it.
On top of that, his vocals are so good. He has such a unique tone of voice to him,
does.
and I absolutely love it.
So, fun facts, of course, another member born in Seoul, but he did move to Jeju at age 7.
They said, okay, at least he was born in Seoul.
Yeah.
That counts.
And his English name that was given to him in school is Peter. That is so fitting for
That is
him.
yeah.
And I don't, like, that's not a name we really hear often anymore, and it's really cute. I do like it a lot. Unrelated. He loves Michael Jackson. Like, that could be a personality trait of his, to be completely honest. And he is a member of NCT Dream, so we'll speak on him again later. And for his NCT Lab release, he did NYCT with Tail. And at one point, he said that he really wants to be a dad and just teach them what a father's love is. And that is the
God.
like sweetest thing ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
That is really, really tender. Oh my gosh.
Like, I'm so sorry, but I can't wait for whenever the heck that happens. I will be with my children.
Full
freaking
support
out.
of Haechan and his kids, yes.
And his stage name was chosen by Lee Suman, who's the CEO. And He means sun and Chen means full. So it's quite literally full sun is his name.
That's really cool.
And he uses Aegyo often. Obviously, very Maknae thing of him. And he had 37.5 MHz Haechan radio, where he just create content and like bring in the other members with him as well.
Another
was,
like podcast situation.
Yeah,
I love
because
that.
it was like
yeah.
a visual like radio show basically. So I guess kind of like Jaehyun and Johnny's like little DJ like NCT Night Night thing. It's kind of similar to that.
And last but not least, we are going to briefly talk about Winwin, who is an inactive member of NCT 127. He was born October 28th, 1997, making him 26 years old. He is a Scorpio, type B blood, and his representative emoji is a chick. He was pursued by casting managers constantly for both visuals and dance, and he was very nervous about strangers and gave them the wrong number.
Honestly, I'd probably do the same.
Yeah, I would
That's
too.
like that feels like a scam.
Yeah, and like especially if you're looking at it from an American point of view, like yeah, absolutely. But I get it. But later he ended up auditioning and passed. He trained for 1 year, and like we said, he has been inactive since late 2018 due to schedule conflicts with Wavy.
To pick him out amongst the other members, he has high cheekbones, small but full lips, if that makes sense, a pointier nose, and more of a boxy smile, bigger ears. One is kind of pointy and one isn't, so kind of think like fairy ears.
That's cute.
Yeah, it kind of has like fairy-like features in general if you like really think about it. And position for the group is lead dancer and sub vocalist. So yeah, overall they keep him listed as a member but an inactive one. But at this point, it's just like unfortunately he's no longer a member. I hate it because I loved him within 127, but I get kind of keeping him with Wavy instead. But we'll talk more about him in the Wavy episode for sure.
So stay tuned for more Winwin.
We're going to take a small break and remind you that if you're enjoying this episode so far, make sure to follow the podcast and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss an upload in the future. And if you'd like to show some love, feel free to give us a rating as well. We'd really appreciate it. So this is typically the point where we insert our segments. We had to make it NCT themed, so we are going to have a motivational quote from Mark Lee.
And Mark said, quote, "Like the possibility of all those possibilities being possible is just another possibility that can possibly happen." End quote.
Very, very profound, well spoken. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
We appreciate you. Jumping back in with post-debut. Now, NCT 127 is the first fixed subunit of NCT. Like we said at the beginning of the episode, they debuted July 7th, 2016 with their EP NCT 127 with the title track Fire Truck. And within that first year, Doyoung and Johnny joined in December before their second EP, Limitless. And within that year, they broke into domestic mainstream in 2017 with Cherry Bomb.
This was huge for them. I just want to make that very like notable. Cherry Bomb was huge for NCT. That was really like the start of them getting very, very big.
Yeah. And for awards and recognition, they debuted at number 2 on Gaon album chart and rose to number 1 by the third week.
They also reached number 2 on Billboard World Albums chart.
They collaborated with Coca-Cola with Taste the Feeling July 29th, not even a full month after debut.
They also collaborated with W Korea magazine and a modeling agency, Esteem, for a special performance video featuring Taeyong, Yuta, Jaehyun, Mark, and Winwin.
They won Best New Male Artist in 2016 Korean Music Awards.
And they were named the best new group of 2016 at multiple award shows, including Asia Artist Awards, Seoul Music Awards, Golden Disc Awards, and Mama.
And their second EP was their first to reach number 1 on Billboard World Chart albums.
They were also promoted overseas, performing at the 2017 KCON in Mexico City, LA, and New York City.
And they're the first K-pop act to be introduced as Apple Music's New Artist of the Week. And super random but very important here in Orlando for Disney lovers, they performed for Mickey's birthday on ABC's Mickey's 90th Spectacular. This is honestly like so funny because I remember watching this at the time because I was like, oh, Disney, so fun, Mickey's birthday. I didn't know what the heck I was watching. I wasn't into K-pop yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, who is this? This is fun. And like later I got into K-pop and very much specifically NCT. And so I was like watching all this old stuff and I'm like, holy crap, they performed for Mickey's birthday.
Not only did they perform for Mickey's birthday, they performed with Mickey Mouse himself.
Michael Mouse
came on stage and danced with them. It was so iconic.
Cool.
Yeah.
And for their recent releases, they did just release Fact Checked with the title track Fact Check, which is such a classic NCT song and the biggest shout out, like so proud of you, love you to death, thank you Taeyong for creating the choreo for the chorus, and just kind of like shouting out other random songs from the album. Space, very funky sound, really loved it. Parade and Angel Eyes are ones that I really like and excited to see live. Angel Eyes will make me sob.
Also, apparently, they're doing one more world tour before they start enlistment, so we have to be there.
Oh, be there or be square, like the light stick. I'm so excited.
Be there or be a light stick. What's it called? A neobong. Be there or be neobong.
I'm so excited. I need to go. I want to be closer this time.
I know.
The rap line really just came through and killed it in Je ne sais quoi. And then Misty is so beautiful. I love the beat of that. So like those are the ones I'd recommend checking out.
We also had our sub unit, Dojaejung, release Perfume. Random, but the album actually comes with a perfume sample.
Yes. Photo card? What is that?
Don't know her.
Perfume sample? Hi.
That's everything. Yeah. It is honestly a really, really good debut for them. A lot of iconic parts, especially the choreo. It personally grew on me so much. The title track is Perfume, and then we also have some other tracks that we wanted to shout out. Kiss and Can We Go Back are fantastic. And then we have Ordinary, which is low-key a Christmas song beat, so we're waiting for Dojaejung Christmas comeback.
I don't know why it sounds like a Christmas song to me, but it just does.
It does, I understand.
And like we do for every group chat, we just kind of have like fandom story times where we just talk the most random nonsense. So for our season story times, we did see them in concert, like we briefly mentioned earlier, in Houston, Texas. It was our first time there.
It was a really good experience overall.
It was my first time in Texas in general, because that was before my San Antonio trip.
Yep, it was my first time in Texas too.
It was a breeze.
It was very easy. Yeah, that was a really good trip in general.
It was just very like an unrealistic feeling seeing my first group I got into live. Like, I don't know, like that just felt like very full circle. Like, I feel whole now.
Yeah, I get that. Well, honestly, I feel like that was the vibe of the entire arena, to be completely honest. Like, everyone was so hype, and it felt very, like, what's the word? I don't want to say desperate, but it felt like built up. Like, they've been waiting for them to tour for so long.
Honestly, they don't do it often.
Yeah, so, like, that was just, it was an incredible energy in that whole arena. And honestly, one of my favorite parts about that concert was all of the solo stages that they did.
I feel like it just overall proved like why they are at the top of K-pop. Deserved.
Yeah, and like we kind of said all throughout this, NCT is so diverse, so with all of their solo stuff, you got to see like such different aspects of like a concert in general. It was just so amazing. And also just huge shout out to that arena in general because they had a massive screen floating at the top. So even though we were in basically nosebleeds, I don't think were we in full nosebleeds? I can't remember.
I don't think so. Like, we were in the upper section, but I feel like we were like mid-lowish for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, agreed. But regardless, we had that huge screen, so I felt like I could see them really, really well. And we do have a concert vlog up on our YouTube over at the Lunapod. You can definitely go check that out. It's really fun.
I screamed a lot.
As
Johnny was
needed.
shirtless. What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. And also, their confetti cannons were so loud.
If I was in the front, I think I would have passed away.
Yeah, same.
And just a random note, like, as a fan of NCT, you have to have an acquired taste. It's not for everyone, but it's for us.
Like we kind of mentioned, that whole neo sound, it's very interesting, but in a good way. It's like, it's just kind of weird, but it's good. And I feel like it definitely grows on you.
And just random, like, NCT songs that are very, quote-unquote, weird and have that acquired taste to it is Cherry Bomb, Sticker, Shalala, Chain, and Hot Sauce. There's honestly most
So
of
many
them,
more, yeah.
especially the title tracks.
Yeah. And again, we say weird. Don't be worried about that. Like,
Yeah,
don't
no.
shy away from it. It's such a cool sound. Like, it's very, very, very good. There's a reason we love NCT so much and their music, so definitely worth checking out. And of course, before we end the episode, we do need to talk about fan wars. We do not condone fan wars. We're multi-stans. No idol wants to see their fans fighting. We're just bringing these up so that you know what to possibly expect from their history if you're looking into them.
Every group has fan wars in general, but honestly, like, the main one to look out for with NCT is ourselves. It is honestly so bad, to be completely honest.
Yeah, the internal fan wars.
It's just because, like, we have so many subunits within the overall NCT. There's a lot of, like, 127 versus Dream, NCT, like, versus Wavy. Like, SM literally created multiple fandoms within one group. It's, like, unfortunately bound to happen. But there's just also within that, like, each group, there are very intense solo stands. To be completely honest, I've been in a lot of fandoms, even, like, with other top groups in K-pop. I would say, like, NCT has the worst solo stands. I understand you, like, really loving your fave member. I'm all for it, but, like, no reason
Not
to
at
bring...
the expense of other members. Yeah.
No reason to bring other members down. And they just kind of pin other members against each other when, like, they're not doing that themselves. Don't do it yourself. And this isn't, like, a fan war, but they have horrible issues with Sasaeng's, like, unbelievably terrible issues with that. So even though it's not a fan war, you will definitely see that. And they're literally, it's so bad to where they are, like, not household names, but, like, in citizen household names that you hear of and you know who that is because they're one.
Yeah, that's
It's horrible.
pretty bad.
And also, so sorry if you're not, like, super familiar, Sasaeng's a stalker. So, I mean, I know, like, all that kind of maybe sounds like it would turn you off, but please, like...
That's
you
just
don't-
the internet.
And you don't
Yeah.
have to get involved in anything. If you don't want to see that kind of stuff, just don't be on,
Exactly.
like, fandom Twitter and, like, heavily involved in it, you know?
My fandom Twitter was exploding the past couple of days, and I just signed out. I didn't go on, and I happily enjoyed all of my stuff without any influence from the internet. So
Yep.
it's absolutely possible. Before we go over our favorite NCTU and 127 songs, we wanted to let you know that we have been doing content over on Patreon, so if you'd like to join us and watch along, you can find us there at the Lunapod, where you can find all sorts of exclusive content.
So to discuss our favorite, like, NCTU songs and NCT 127 songs, what are yours?
I love Earthquake a lot.
Really good.
Yes, it's one that I like almost, I don't forget about it, but like it isn't in all of my playlists, and then whenever it pops up I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this song, who is this by, and then I'm like, oh, it's Earthquake by NCT, of course. But I also really wanted to shout out some of their title tracks, like Two Baddies, AO, Baggy Jeans. They're the newest ones, but they're so iconic. Everything they release is iconic, and they're so good. They get stuck in your head so badly.
Yes.
And I know we personally end up having a lot of NCT memes in
We
relation to their songs and their content in general, so just wanted to give those a shout out.
And for me, my favorite NCTU songs yesterday, this is literally my favorite K-pop song, like, ever. I would quite literally die for this song if they asked me to.
I would die for Riley.
I would. And my favorite NCT 127 song is, I think, Daydream. That is very hard for me to choose, but if I had to, in the moment, it's Daydream. And just content we'd recommend. So there's a lot. NCT's a lot. So their content is going to be a lot. You will never be bored a single day in your life. You have 20, now 26 people to keep up with.
Yeah, like if you get bored, literally just jump over to another member and you've got a whole other experience. Yeah.
So like we've said earlier, Johnny's Communication Center, please, I'm biased, go watch.
It's so good.
We have NCT Live, Brooklyn Boys, which is where they like rented out an Airbnb. If you've seen the clips of them playing beer pong, that's where it's from. NCT 127 hit the States while they were like on tour. They did videos. Seasonings would like this too. It was like them just kind of talking with the other members of like kind of like story time with other members. And 24-hour relay cams. This was iconic. So they did a 24-hour relay cam where there's so many members. So each member would have a camera for like maybe 1 to 2 hours throughout the whole 24-hour.
That's
and then
so
like
cool.
The camera would pass on. So like somebody would have it from like 3 to 4 a.m. You know, like super late and stuff. It was really fun.
Oh, that is really fun.
And they just kind of do a lot of like weird and lengthy skit videos, especially during comeback season. And I remember my friend Andrea and I were so upset the day we realized they like took NCT Daily away from us. That channel is everything. That is where like all this fun content came from. So like most of these shows, not all of them, but like a good portion of these come from the NCT Daily channel. It was just like the good stuff came from that. That's where like all these started.
It reminds me of the thing that was recently going around on Twitter. It was an iceberg with all of the NCT memes on it in the different levels.
That's a whole other thing to look up. It was like the NCT iceberg. It's like so much. It's ridiculous.
On
I can't
Twitter,
explain
yes,
it.
head over there.
Another thing was like in minute. Those were kind of like really quick, like behind the scene vloggy, like during promotion time, I think. Also NCT 127, The Lost Boys. It's more recent, kind of documentary style where they go over childhood stories and you just get to know a lot more in depth about them. And the To Us series, that's a more recent one. So the members like walked into this room and there were all these like notes on the wall of like notes to themselves, notes to 127.
Yeah.
And they go in, sit down and watch a video message from the other member. And then right before they left, they would record one for the next member that came in. It had me so emotional. I need to like note some of these. So Haechan told Mark he believes there's 3 chances that people have in life. And he was just like really thankful that he got like one of those big opportunities was with him.
Aww.
I could sob. All these make me want to sob. And then Mark told Yuta he's always been like kind to him and he really doesn't want to take that for granted because it's really hard and rare to find someone that has always given you good feeling. Yuta was telling Tail that he always knows what the members need, how they feel, whether they're like sad, happy, and so he felt like it was kind of like silly for him to even like record a video for him because he already knows how he feels about him kind of thing. And Johnny was telling Do-young like he just makes everything comfortable. He was the first one he's the first one he thinks of when he wants to speak when concerns come up, and he makes it easy to hang on and just thankful for him understanding him. Like again, like he was such a big pivotal moment with him staying within the group and like not leaving and just like sticking out and debuting. And then Do-young was telling Jungwoo like he's a comfort for him. He doesn't need it's not something that he needs to like work on, like just be himself because you as you are like provide me so much comfort. Like don't feel pressured to do anything because you as you are is like that's it.
It's so sweet. They're being so
I know,
emotional.
right? And this one I could have died. I could have died at all these. But Jungwoo told Taeyong that he's an indispensable member, and I was like, shut up, because you know, for him, like that probably means so much as like the leader and everything. He's just very pure and thoughtful in the way that he cares for the members, and don't worry too much, like believe in us as well. Like we're 127, like we got you too, kind of thing.
Yeah, oh, that's
and then
so
like
cute.
Taeyong did like a sign off one for like all the members that they all watched, and he said, "Let's continue being a group that's full of passion, determination and spirit. Let's make sure everyone thinks that of us." And he was like, "I love you," with like the most nervous, awkward laughter after.
That's very Taeyong of him.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's
so I'm like, that's
cute.
a really sweet one to watch if you're like very new to them and kind of wanting to just like see all the raw emotions there. It was really sweet.
So I think this is probably one of our longest episodes, but honestly it needed to be because NCT is, first of all, absolutely incredible, and there's just so much, especially as this being our introductory video into NCT November, we needed to include some of NCT in general stuff at the beginning there. So definitely stay tuned for the rest of November. We are going to be releasing an episode every Tuesday. We're so excited for you to get to know NCT with us. They have really, really grown on me. I'm so excited. As always, you can find us on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube at The Lunapod, and on Instagram at The Luna Podcast for up-to-date information on episode releases and behind-the-scenes fun. We post all sorts of content, so definitely make sure to follow us and check that out. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye! I love some matcha, so absolutely.
Where'd you get matcha, babe?
Green tea ice cream.
Okay.
Green tea matcha.
Well, I mean, it's not the same thing fully, though.
It's green tea. It's green. It's tea.
Okay.